Hi, I'm Woody Huffines. I own the NerdsToGo in McKinney and Frisco, Texas, and this is Tech for the Untechnical. So how much stuff is your Ring doorbell telling other people about your life? We've been talking about Internet of Things security, and this kind of got started because there were Ring doorbells that were talking to people, or in this case mostly Ring cameras, where somebody had hacked into a Ring camera and was talking to little girls in their rooms and all kind of stuff that's pretty uncomfortable. So, and here's a link to one of the videos that we did talking about, can we and should we? Yes, we can put Internet of Things devices in our homes, but should we? Is it worth the risk? Is it worth the security effort that it takes to make them secure? And even if we do everything that we can to make them secure, is it still secure enough? And this week there's a whole bunch more news about Ring doorbells, Ring cameras, and Ring infrastructure that's pretty interesting. The Electronic Freedom Foundation, which the EFF.org's great website, the Electronic Freedom Foundation has worked very, very diligently on privacy and security issues for individuals and how the Internet and the Internet of Things and our applications and our computers impinge on our freedoms and impinge on our privacy. And they did some research that came out this week about Ring doorbell and the information that Ring products send not only to Ring but other vendors that have to do with your privacy and your data. It's been known for quite a while that Ring doorbell and the Ring cameras and the Ring infrastructure is willing to share data with 600 different police departments across the United States. So if a police department contacts Ring and they want to look at your videos, they can. Without a warrant, without permission, without your permission, they just get the videos and look at them, which might be really good for crime prevention, but what does it do for your privacy? That somebody can come and get your video footage without any notification to you or anything else. Now that's bad enough, and there's been a bunch of press about it. This week, the Electronic Freedom Foundation's security researchers found out that it's a lot worse than that. The EFF found that Ring is sending information from your Ring devices to 4 internet marketing or large data analytics firms. And that information includes personal information, email, it includes sensor information from your Ring doorbell, when your door's open, when you don't close. It sends a lot of information about your Ring app, when you use the Ring app, when you don't, and what things you look at on the Ring app. There's a whole bunch of data for 4 different analytics companies. And Ring does not disclose this adequately, in some cases at all. In some cases it's buried in several different levels down in the website where they talk about what they can share. But the point is that your Ring doorbell is sending 4 data analytics companies a great deal of information about your life. Now, to put this in some context, the problem with sending any information at all is data aggregation. If you have a little bit of data sent and a little bit of data sent and a little bit of data sent to different companies, but someone is able to aggregate that data, then they get a pretty good picture of who you are and everything about your life. What the EFF found is that these 4 companies are getting information, and getting a lot of information. The first one they mentioned is Facebook. Facebook gets information about your Ring app, when you install the app, when you install the cameras. It gives Facebook information about how you use the app, which things on the app you use, if you terminate the app. And all of this data goes to Facebook even if you don't have a Facebook account. So that Facebook is getting information about how you use your Ring product, which Ring product you have, and how often you use the app with personally identifiable, well, in the case of Facebook, it may not be personally identifiable, but it's specific identifiable information about which Ring is yours. So not only is Facebook getting information, even if you don't have a Facebook account, but there's a data aggregator called Branch.io. Branch.io is getting your IP address, what model of the Ring camera you have, when the camera was purchased, when it went online, and how long it's been online, as well as how often you use it. The next company that's getting information is called AppsFlyer, and the AppsFlyer information is a little more problematic than the first 2. Because the AppsFlyer looks at your camera, it tells what app you're using, what version of the app, who your carrier is, what kind of phone you have, how often you look at the app, and the app information and app permissions. AppsFlyer also gets several personally identifiable or individually identifiable pieces of information about which camera it is, what time the camera is getting used, as well as how much time you spend on the Neighbors app. And if you're familiar with Ring, the Neighbors app is a way for you to look at people post in Neighbors. Here's what happened at my house. Guy, suspicious guy. There's a bobcat walking around our Neighbors app because I've got a Ring doorbell. It's all the time got stuff in it. And they look at how often you use that, and they use that for marketing purposes. Mixed panels for me is the most problematic because they get your name, your email address, your physical address, as well as the state of the application, how your phone's put together, and how often you use the app. Now, any one of these individually is probably a little uncomfortable, but the four of them all the time, even to places that you don't have accounts like Facebook, I think that's problematic. And it goes back to what I talked about in the video link that I put up, is just because you can, should you? Is the value of having a Ring doorbell worth the fact that your privacy is getting violated by that doorbell, whether you have a Facebook app, for example, or not? That Amazon, and through its Ring partner, or it owns Ring, is collecting information about you just because you're trying to make your home safe. So the point is, even if you secure your app and you secure your network and you keep the Ring doorbell updated and you do all the things that we've talked about, and here's a playlist of all the things that we've talked about in Internet of Things security, even if you do everything perfectly and do everything you can to secure your Ring products or your Internet of Things that have to do with Ring, Ring's telling on you anyway. They're sending out a bunch of information about you that's personally identifiable or identifies your home or identifies to marketing companies. They're allowing police departments to go look at it. And this is done without your permission. And you say without your permission, well, it's not quite true. Maybe you can't say that they don't tell you because the end user license agreement, that EULA that nobody reads, says that they can share your data. And they do share your data. But the question is if you put something in your house because you think it's going to make you more secure and it's leaking your data on the internet, is it worth it? Or should it be disclosed better? And remember that Ring has had other problems with their security infrastructure and architecture. And when there's been problems, they blame the users. So not only is Ring not real good at security, and we've talked about this, we can talk about that, how you do the security and what good security looks like for Internet of Things devices, and look at that video and see that. Not only have they not done the things like enable two-factor authentication by default and made it so that if somebody tries to log into your device 15 different times that it locks that account out until you reestablish that account. Or, well, we've talked about that. The idea is that they ask your permission through the end user license agreement, and here's even the scariest thing. If you read your end user license agreement, it licenses your video to Ring/Amazon, and they have the right to view, delete, copy, modify. They can effectively take the video that's coming off of your doorbell and do anything with it that they want because they have your permission in the end user license agreement. Probably didn't know that when you put them up on the front door. And here's an example that I've got heartburn with personally. Ring has been using people's videos for marketing purposes. So they make a commercial, and since they can access your Ring account and they can look at your videos and they have license to use your videos, you got people at Amazon or Ring that are looking through people's doorbells trying to find, well, hey, this is a pretty cool video. We can make a commercial with this. So they're using your video that you've shot, that you own, but they have licensed to market their product. I think it's time we spend some time, as I've done in the past series of videos, thinking about our Internet of Things devices and asking ourselves, we can do these things, but should we? I'm Woody Huffines. I own the NerdsToGo in McKinney and Frisco, Texas. This is Tech for the Untechnical. Hit the subscribe button below, mash the like thumbs up, and when we do one of these, you'll get notified. We'd sure appreciate it if you join us.